This is a short talk on how I set up lighting for a row of terraced houses. I decided to have a row of houses behind the station and they would all have lighting. To do this, I removed some unnecessary lies. I used low relief Metcalfe models as I'm not a model maker of any competence like others in the group. The models were modified slightly so that different rooms could be lit separately. These modifications included internal walls were added to the first floor so that bedrooms were separated, and the exterior wall had a section removed behind the bay windows. This allowed living room light to show more brightly. This picture shows where I enlarged the two windows when fitting bay windows. The internal walls were added at these positions so that the bedrooms were all separated, so that we ended up with 2 living rooms and 4 bedrooms. This is showing the completed house, showing the bay windows and of course dormer windows in the roof. All the houses were built with a slightly different facing to them. Initially for the lighting I looked at the random light kit, but I decided I wanted a more structured sequence for each house, and so set about developing my own software for each house so that each one could have a different sequence of lighting events. Each room would have its own LED. There are 6 rooms altogether, but unfortunately the 12F675 PIC only gave me 5 outputs to operate the LEDs. Therefore 2 rooms on the first floor had to operate together. This is a rear view of the house showing the LEDs fitted into the back wall. As you can see, there are codes at the back so that you could remember which room was which. This figure shows the wiring of the LEDs. I have used a different coloured wire for each LED. The connector has the power supply and connects to the PIC controller. To operate the lighting in each house, I used the control PIC. Another one was used to randomly select the sequence that the houses would become lit. I didn't want them all just to come on in the same sequence each time, and the delay between each one started was also selected randomly. The house control schematic is shown below. On the top left here we can see a short schematic showing the 5-volt power supply that will supply all the houses. The PIC in the middle, as you can see, has the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 LEDs coming off, and we have a control signal coming in from the Terrace controller that will set the lighting for an evening sequence or a morning sequence. Here is a wee detail of the colours used for each light. This is the Terrace controller schematic, which is just the same as previously, but we have now changed to a 16F18323 PIC. This was done after comments made at the WOSAG presentation where it was suggested that these 3 outputs could be used for operating other parts of the scenery. And the main reason was the 16F676 was almost full with the software as it stands and therefore could not take any expansion. These are the 2 Vera boards. The small one here is used for the house control. These pins here go to the LEDs and supply the power. This pin here is receiving an output from the Terrace control that tells it whether it's going to be a day or night sequence. The Terrace control board is here. These pins are for power and going to the day and night switch. These 8 pins go to each of the houses. The Terrace control jowl follows this sequence. You set the control on whether you want day or night. You then randomly select which house number operates its lights. We then select a delay randomly before the next house starts. You repeat from 2 until all the houses are operational. You then change the selection of day or night and repeat from 2 to 5. The software is shown here. As you can see, we've changed to a 16F18323. The one change in the Pragma is that the Pragma target OSC is switched off. This software uses 2 extra library functions, random and pin tools. Random has a function inside called dice, which would normally give you a random number from 1 to 6. As we need 1 to 8, we have edited that function. The pin tools library allows you to set up all the pins and store them in an array. If the day-night switch has been selected to night time, we then set a used array to 0. This array is used to show which houses have been selected. The total number of houses, all house, is also set to 0. While all 8 houses haven't been chosen, we then proceed here. Dice is used to randomly select the first house that will be operated. If this house hasn't been chosen before, the used is updated to the value 1. All house is incremented by 1. The house choice output is set high to indicate a nighttime sequence. Dice is then used again to have a random delay before the next house is selected. When all houses have been selected, we loop here until the day-night switch is changed to low. When low has been selected, i.e. a daytime sequence, the procedure is just the same, except the house choice is set low to show a daytime sequence. The house control software is extremely simple. For an example, you set one LED on, set a delay, so many seconds, so many minutes, whatever you wish, set the next light on, delay, then and so you repeat that until you've done all the sequence that you fancy. You can have some coming on, going off, coming on again, or one on, upstairs comes on, upstairs goes off. And as you can see in the JAL, it's really quite simple. Now this is a short video showing the evening and morning sequences of the lamps. These LEDs on the left here are showing when the other 5 houses would be starting. As you can see, it started off at number 8, we've now gone to number 3. That's 4, number 1, and so on. As you can see, you get, because this is the evening sequence, people are coming home, living room lights go on. The 2 bedrooms here come on together. These are supposedly children going to bed. The living room light goes off. The bedroom light comes on. And then lights go off. All lights go off. And that's you set the end of the night evening sequence. Switch the thing over and we'll start doing a morning sequence, which, as you would expect, is like bedrooms coming on and then coming down to the living rooms, and then people leave for work. As you can see, bedrooms coming on, bedroom goes off, living room comes on. In this one, oh, someone's forgotten something and goes back up the stairs. And that's the sequence. If you have any questions or comments, I would be delighted to hear them. Thank you.